right, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome, Paul Tranny here. It's Monday, February 22nd. It's a beautiful day out. Hopefully this day finds you well. How you guys doing? Michelle and Steven and General Kenobi is here. Yeah, welcome. Susan Wilson, awesome. Good to have you guys here. Want to give you a warm welcome. My name is Paul Tranny, Principal Evangelist for Adobe, focusing largely on the design tools, and this is meant to get you caught up on everything you need to know for the week, because there's lots happening in the news. I don't know where that accent came from. But yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining me elsewhere, go to behance.net/Adobe Live, and we'll get this party started. We'll kind of briefly jump into the guests. Lots of news to talk about. We have updates to some of the Creative Cloud apps that I kind of want to share, which I would love to share, and I wanted to share it last week, but they weren't released yet. So that will be fun. Some new creative to check out. The big two areas are, it's probably news and free stuff. So those are the two big areas, which is pretty exciting because everybody loves free stuff. Good to have you here. Welcome, guest. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, it's 75 degrees, 84 in, gosh, Carol, I forgot where you live. All I know is I want to live there, and I don't remember where it is. But let's jump in to what we have going on with our guests. The first half of the week, I think this will be really cool, just so you know. We have Giannis Davy Gubinga, who does amazing photography. And then we have James Bonanno. So kind of like the first half of the week is photography and videography, which is really cool. And I will share those portfolios with you in a second. And then we'll get into the next couple people. But let's check out Giannis's work, because it's like pretty amazing. Shall we? It would help if I had my screen connected, but that happens sometimes, huh? It's a Monday morning. Bam, there we are. Look at Giannis's work. So again, Bonanno, James Bonanno, that's funny. James is awesome. So cool. He's just such a great guy. So I think this is going to be awesome. Giannis's work is amazing. Talk about working that silhouette. Look at this. Like such high contrast. I love it. Right? Look at that. And this was probably taken. I guess there was, I don't know how any of this was taken. Who am I to guess? But I'm looking forward to finding out. Like, look at this, like a little splash of green right there. But I love those bright backgrounds and just the contrast going on with a lot of these photos. So it's cool that we have Giannis for 2 hours today, which will be sweet. Yes, both artists are going to be amazing. Fashion type photography, sort of, I don't know, people, fashion, definitely. So yeah, it all just looks really amazing. So this is going to be a fun day. I'm probably going to be tuning in and would love to see how Giannis does all their work. James, on the other hand, as well, is an amazing photographer, and he does actually video work, right? So he does a lot of kind of like works for sort of travel companies, if you will. And is actually Anna McNaught's husband, just so you know. So you get a 2-for-1 today and tomorrow. You have James Bonanno and Anna McNaught. Spent some time with them, and they're just like amazing. You know, seriously, I can't say enough good things about James and Anna and their work. They're just amazing. I actually got to work with them in December, and it was awesome. So, and went to a photo shoot with them up in Vail Valley. So it was amazing. So, 2-for-1 today. They're probably freaking out today, trying to like plug in cables and I don't know what they're doing. They probably have it all under control, but it's gonna be cool. Rushika, good to have you here. And Sean, welcome everybody. Hey. Yeah, I admire photographers because I just cannot really do this stuff. I haven't really dove into photography since Terry White usually covers that stuff. That's probably why. All right. Hello, Muriel. I see you over there on Facebook. Thanks for joining me as well. Excuse me. Oh, it is a fine Monday, and I hope it's a good Monday for you as well, huh? And that's the goal, is to make these good days and get you started out just right. We had a lot that happened last week. There's a lot of news I need to cover. Really, there is plenty. But also, I'm making sure I'm pulling up all of my next designers. Fantastic. Because we have Danielle Muriel Cox, and then we have Monique Renee later on this week. Yeah, Noor, I hear ya. Monday's today? Yeah, it's Monday, and it's a great day because it's going to be a fantastic week. Because you know why? It's beautiful here in Denver. We got past the snow, and it's gorgeous out now. Right, check this out. So, just kind of recap, just so we can see. This is Danielle Muriel Cox, dmcox.co. Has a whole art store, and I love it when we have designers that have their own stores. We had somebody in last week that created some cool artwork, but you can see these sort of pins that were created, keychains, posters. You guys get the idea, and that's what I talked to Danielle about. It's like, how can I open up a store? What's the easiest way, at least when I'm ready for it? So I think that's super cool. It's like, yes, you do have the creative challenges. You create something that's awesome is the goal, and then turn around and open up a shop, because why not? And again, yeah, cool. I'm just kind of looking at these now. Hope you guys don't mind. If it doesn't align, I'm going to have to decline. But I love these simple black and white illustrations, right? So it doesn't have to be complex to be cool, as we know. So yeah. All right. Cool. Monday, it's Monday, and it's a fun day, as Afroja says. So check out dmcox.co. You can see the schedule below me. If you're joining me elsewhere, I see Bruno in motion. Go to behance.net/Adobe Live, and we would love to see you there. Moving on, we have Monique Renee. She has her own design studio, but she also does a lot of marketing, which I think is pretty sweet. So, again, just think about, you created artwork earlier in the week. You learned from Danielle how to open up your own sort of store, and now you can learn from Monique how to market it. So you could see she has a whole brand going on. You can kind of see all of her nonprofits, all this stuff, all of her print work. But largely, I feel like she does a lot of marketing for companies, which is pretty cool. So that's shout out to our guests. You guys get the idea. Pretty sweet stuff, and cool people that we have going on making cool stuff. Like you are, I'm sure. Yes. Love the simplicity of the designs. I agree. All right. Fantastic. Sean Kossel. Oh, I did not know Sean Kossel goes live 12 GMT. What is that? 8 p.m.? I have no idea when that is, my time. Rick, what's up? Good to have you here. Awesome. Let's move on, because we have news that we need to get into and a lot to cover. So let's do it right now. All right, and we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Probably the big thing in the news is we opened up applications for the Adobe Creative Residency. So you can literally just Google it. I will paste that in chat just so you have it. It's 4 hours away. Thank you for that, Stephen. Good to see you, Stephen. What's up? All right. That's cool to hear. Awesome. Sean, good to have you here, man. Yeah, I need to up my photography game because it's like non-existent. All right. So just so you know, Adobe Creative Residency, we're opening that up now. I can jump over. I just pasted that link in chat just so you know, but you can go right here. And essentially, we have our annual residency, right? So we open that up. You have till March, around March 13th, roughly, about a month away-ish, maybe a little less, 15th, kind of around there. You can check that out. So obviously you check that out by clicking the learn more and apply. You're gonna have to pitch what you want to do over the course of the year, and that's kind of how it's done. So spend time thinking about, what would I want to spend a year doing? Okay, so that's the ideas. So you can see past residents, and also just kind of point out, we constantly want to support our artists, especially during this time. As you know, we have the monthly community fund, which we usually give you a stipend, or not a stipend, I guess we fund you and fund you for a moment in time. I'm not sure how long. I don't even know how much you get. I'm sure it all varies, but the short of it is we want to support artists and designers, especially those going through a tough time. So grants from 500 to 5,000. So that's the range. And we commission you to just kind of create some work that you want to create, which is awesome. And it's an ongoing program. So don't forget about that. There's a whole chat and community around that, which is pretty sweet. All that good stuff. I could probably spend a year sleeping. Sleep is awesome, but also so is waking up. After you've had a good night's sleep and you wake up and you're like, it's like most of the world's problems can be solved through a nap and just a meal. A meal and a nap would solve most of my problems. It's like maybe you're just sleepy and should go to bed. Okay, that's kind of how it is. But I think that's pretty awesome. That's Creative Residency and Community Fund. Keep those in mind, which is pretty sweet. And we just opened them up. And a couple other things in random news, not to be so Adobe centric, but we also have the NASA's Perseverance rover landed on Mars. Oh, I spelled that wrong. So that's when we switch off this screen really fast. You don't even notice it. And we go in there. You can Google that, and I love Google's page for it because you see all these fireworks coming into play. The Perseverance rover, which I think is cool about this, is the fact that it's the first full color images that we get. So we get this look at Mars, and you can see how many colors are there. Look, there's light browns, there's dark browns, there's warm browns, and then there's a little less warm browns. There's so many browns in this full color image. I kid, but this is really exciting. Because you know what? NASA is so good about giving away their imagery. It's awesome. So just keep an eye out for that. I expect more images to come, which will be super fun. And bookmark this stuff, right? So again, you probably have, like me, right in here, you probably have bookmarks like I do, which has a bunch of free images from different museums and different things. And sure enough, NASA's HQ, it's Flickr photo album, right? So that's where I'd expect this to pop up. Here it is, Mars 2020, Perseverance. And they use Document Cloud as well. I don't know to what degree, but they use Document Cloud, and Adobe's been bragging about that internally. But that's kind of the idea. But here's some high-res images that you can download and have some fun. So I'm looking forward to keeping an eye on that. Right? Do we have any space fans out there? The only one I know of is I know Howard Pinsky is really into space. I like space. I don't think out there is all that interesting. I think down here is pretty darn interesting too. So anyways, fantastic. Everybody has those bookmarks. Everybody has these bookmarks as well. Again, of free assets, which we'll get into in a second. So yeah, folks. Okay, next question. Who here is fans of Wallace and Gromit? Aardman Animations. They released this fun campaign, and I decided, I was like, where does this go? Does this go in news or portfolio sort of spotlights? But I thought this was cool. What's up with everyone.com? Okay, so this just talks about mental health, which is, of course, a huge issue right now, from Aardman Animations. So they make the Wallace and Gromit stuff. You can jump out there, literally go to What's Up With Everyone, and check out these videos and their whole campaign that they have around it as well. So, again, tackling, when it comes to design, there's just guidelines. You just need to know when to break them. Long pause. That's funny. Reverb mic. Quiet Riot. I love it. You make me want to listen to like a bunch of 80s hair metal. So, again, take care of yourself, folks. I like hanging out with you. Know that Marsha and Reverb Mike and Mia and Michelle. This is always a place you can come and hang out and, learn some things, but just get to know others. And I think that's pretty cool. One other thing I want to talk about really fast too, if I can kind of file this under, I don't know, news, or at least a point I would like to make, is how to steal like a designer and boost creativity, right? So that's the goal. How to steal like a designer? We could talk about stealing all day long, but this is just a blog post that was posted recently, which I thought was like really like resonated with me, and because I thought it's appropriate for the community, right? So again, here's the article, How to Steal Like a Designer. So the short of it is like creativity is really just taking all these little Lego bricks that you've kind of accumulated watching Adobe Live and doing different things. And then you pull from all those little bricks to make something new is kind of what happens, right? We steal like an artist. Austin Kleon's book right over there talks about it. It's like, is anything really that original? Again, don't try to be original, just try to be good. And that's my soapbox for the day. Just don't forget to credit the people who you are being inspired by, is all I'd like to say. Yes, exactly. Reverb Mike. Steal like an artist. Austin Kleon. I got to interview him. A really, really cool guy. So yeah, it's good times. Let's dive into something new. Again, I think that's important. I'll paste that in chat. Somebody might need to hear that as well. Just, I typically say make sure you're just crediting the right people. Okay. Zoop. Here I am back again. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Michelle. Mohammed. Good to have you guys here. Again, don't get discouraged. You're just trying to be better every day, right? And our goal is to not, of course you're not going to steal. Like, how inappropriate is that, It's so bad. Because people know when you do it. And that leads me to my next thing. If you give me 1 second, I want to talk about this lovely, as I pull this up. So we talked about the Content Authenticity Initiative, but we co-founded the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, C2PA. So it's a standards organization. Basically says, hey, if you try to steal something and call it your own, first of all, that's messed up. But we're going to establish this organization that can really trace back the roots of an image. And that's what provenance means. I had to Google it, guys. I was like, provenance? What is that? Sort of the origination, sort of like where that image started from. So being able to go through and scroll back and see kind of where it started. And again, so I think this is pretty cool. Yes, we allow you to edit images, but being able to track the edits that have been made with an image is pretty darn awesome. And we, of course, have some heavy hitters in the area, too. So Microsoft, TruePic, ARM, Intel, BBC. So again, I think this is going to be pretty interesting because we know the authenticity of images is important when it comes to fake news and all that good stuff. Right? Cool. That's just kind of fun. Again, I don't want people stealing my stuff. And I want other things that I see, I want to trust that they came from a place. We have a demo internally, just so you know, and it goes through that process of like, hey, you can kind of scrub through and see the original image versus the one that they actually posted. The one they posted, they made themselves smile, they put a different sky in, all that stuff. You could scrub back to the original photo, and that's the demo that they have. All right, Claudia, yes, that's right. I am in a Marriott Bonvoy ad. That's not fake news either, but yeah, that's something that happened, and now you know. Cool people. All right. Okay. Let's do this right now. Switching gears slightly. And I want to talk about what's new. This is things I wanted to talk about last week, which I was not able to. New features in Photoshop, Illustrator, Fresco, XD. I'm not going to be covering exactly all of them. Mainly XD is the one I'm kind of not too familiar with. But the other ones I've already recorded videos for. So let's switch over. These are new features in news, right? Yes, there's nothing new under the sun. By the way, Carol, I do want to point that out. Yes. But also don't say that like everything's already been invented, right? Like there are so many different combinations of things. It's endless what we can do. So I think that's really exciting. The combinations of things that take place. Okay, so what's new in Photoshop? Guess what do we have now? We have invite to edit and sync presets, right? I didn't get to talk about this last week, but we can now do that. So we can go into Photoshop, right? We'll go up to Photoshop. Here we go. Look at this, folks. This is so exciting in Photoshop. Preset syncing. It's going to sync my preset. So I'm going to check that. That was not checked. I think it's checked. I don't know if it's checked by default. But right in here, it says like, when it turns on, it will sync to your Creative Cloud account. You can access them in the preset panels and wherever you use presets. And it might take a little while because you have a lot of things, Paul. If we take a look, it's actually being synced now. We can open up all those panels and there we go. My other laptop, right? So this is like my testing, test all the beta software and all that stuff on this laptop. But the thing is, it's going to sync the assets to this Mac where I'm also logged in. So if we take a look, I'll just actually open this up. I will not sync to this or open up this Mac, but here we go. So we have swatches from my local MacBook Pro. So it actually made that folder, which is interesting. So that might happen. It's not going to get rid of things, right? Because we don't want that to happen. But we have all these brushes that will get synced as well. So here's my local brushes that I had initially. That's actually what I think I did, is I synced it when I was making the demo videos. And these are all my synced brushes that I had at the time. And no, these ones right here are my synced brushes that it just pulled in. And these are the ones that were already on my local MacBook Pro. So it's not going to overwrite these or anything. You might have a local folder that says, hey, you know what? We don't want to get rid of those, but we do want to import the new things. Okay? You guys get the idea. Shapes, right? These are all the shapes that it synced down from Creative Cloud, and then here's like my original images. So I think this is going to be hugely important. So, okay, thank you, Sean. Not checked by default. You know, sometimes I get this stuff confused because we test it different ways. And, yeah. You know, when we're testing this and doing all the beta testing, it changes a lot. So I'm like, where did we land on this? And it's not till I get the actual download do I know 100% for sure. So, yes, you are right. It doesn't sync initially, but just go ahead and check that box because we know it's huge. Like it takes forever, right? To, you know, pull your brushes over, pull your gradients over, and all that stuff just takes forever. So I think this is going to be huge anytime you need to get up and running on another laptop or whatever the case is. So pretty cool. All right, so let's move on. I'll throw some things in here. Why not? Let's throw a new gradient down. Boom, there it is. Sure, that looks good. Let's drop another one in. Bam. Let's change the blend mode, huh? Right, this is something I'm working on, right? Looks pretty good. Well, right up here, what can we do once we've made those changes? We can go ahead and invite somebody to edit this. Invite to edit, click continue. It's going to save it as a cloud document. We're just going to go with bicycle image. Why not? Save it out there, and once it's saved, I can then send it and have somebody else edit this. So it's syncing it now, depends on the size, we'll determine how long it takes, yada yada. They can work on it, I can get the document back. We have notes in the browser that we could take a look at for this image as well. So here it is, invite to edit. I could send it to somebody else. I'm the owner. I don't know who else to send it to. Somebody give me your email address. Actually, don't do that. But I don't care if you guys have my email. But there it is. Does this look amazing or what? So this is a case where just say, hey, just say it looks amazing. Or what edits do you have to this? Invitation is sent. I'll actually get that probably on my phone. Thought I'd send it to this email. But we could also look at that image as well in the browser. So we can go to wait for it. All right, we will give this a second, but it will actually appear in the browser, and then you can see it there and see the comments. It's all pretty straightforward. Okay, you guys got it. Try it out for yourself. All right, Nora's asking, what's this Clubhouse thing? Good question. What if I just didn't answer? I just said, hey, that's a good question, and then I just move on. Clubhouse is it's an audio-only app where you can get together and chat. So it's live streaming audio conversations. So I'd like to think of it like live podcasts that aren't saved. You join them right then and listen to them, and it makes you feel less alone when you're at home. So that's the key thing I would say it does. It fills a void for people, right? Let's change that to overlay. There we are. I can save that. But again, we won't worry about that popping up. Let's move on. That's a good question for another time, huh, folks? All right, let's jump back right out here. And really all you have to do is update these. Same thing for Illustrator, by the way, has invite to edit, snapping guides for Japanese text. And you guys get the idea, invite to edit across those apps. Performance improvements, and then Fresco. I'd have to switch to my Fresco app, but I will leave that up to Kyle T. Webster because tomorrow morning he is going to be live from 9 to 10. He is doing brush hour, and you'll learn all about Fresco, and you could ask him those questions on what's new in Fresco. Cool. Cool. Let's move on. Andrew, what's up? Oh yeah, thank you, Andrew. Silly me. I'm going to be on Clubhouse tonight, so you could actually experience it live. But the thing is, you could join in the conversation. Instead of being talked at, you can raise your hand, get invited up to stage, as long as we kind of know you, because, you know, that's very helpful if you're going to invite somebody up onto stage. But that's the short of it. And is going to be super cool. So I will be on that tonight, 4 p.m. Today. So join me 4 p.m. today on Clubhouse, folks. Now we can get into some new creative. Awesome. Thank you for the tips in there. Andrew, it is going to be fun because, you know, the nice thing is there's no pressure when it comes to Clubhouse because it's not being recorded, provided somebody could actually jump in and record it. But really there's no pressure to, you know, to be perfect in your speech and all that good stuff. All right, so let's switch over. Give me 1 second, folks, and talk about some new creative. And I want to see what you guys have. I actually often look in Discord and see what you guys are creating. But let's go ahead and check out. All right, and we're back. Alberto Silva is in the house. Hello. Good to have you here. We're going to take a look at what's new when it comes to creative work out there. Hopefully you guys are into this. I see a lot of stuff kind of come across that I think is pretty amazing. Just wanted to highlight really, I guess, a couple illustration designs that have been created, which are pretty amazing, and talk about something else that we have coming from Adobe. So the first one is a simple look at design. I just think this is kind of cool. Came across this from Mike Carlos, right, from Athens, Greece. You can see his work, but I wanted to point out his work because it's amazing. Like, he's been working on isolated scenes, right, that really capture sort of a person or a moment in time. As we scroll down, you can see this final one and how this is done, right? Just simple line work and some simple patterns in here, right? Probably created in Illustrator. And again, this is Mike Carollos, right? See him right up there. But I think this is amazing. Look at this. Very simple line work. And I think this is very telling of a mature designer, somebody who doesn't overwhelm a piece. Nothing in here is not needed, in my opinion. So that's the idea. I think he's simplified this to the point to where it gets the message across and looks pretty darn good. And the cool thing is, like, a lot of these textures, by the way, so we'll just like, again, I'll just reference this image. We'll jump into Illustrator. Just want to point this out really fast. All that stuff you could do right in Illustrator, right? So there it is. Here's the piece that we can think about sort of creating. So we'll jump in. Boom, boom. Wait for it, folks. And maybe we could do the lamp. We could do pretty much anything. Let's actually jump in and edit this really fast. Maybe just make these two a little sharper, like so. These a little more pointy, right? This could be our character. But I just wanted to show sort of when it comes to, I don't know, creating somebody's, I don't know, shorts, for instance. The key thing is I want a pattern in there. And I wanted to point out that in Illustrator, as I select this part right here, I want this same sort of dot pattern right down here. That's all baked into Illustrator. So give it a color. Let's go into my appearance panel, and more importantly, let's go into our Swatch Libraries right down here. So we have a number of swatches right in here, but right down here we have patterns, we have basic graphics. So we have dots, lines, textures, and they get a little bit more advanced. But right in here, we can just go ahead and check out the dots. So look, these are pretty much the dots that were used in this scenario, right? Or at least I would use these maybe as a starting point, right? So right in here, there's my dots, right? I might want to add right down here. I can add a new fill, right? And add those dots like so. So we can see all those different dots that we can work with, right? As I click on them, they get added to my swatches panel off to the side, okay? If I decide I want this, but I want maybe even more space or something different about these little dots, well, I could just double click on it and I can edit it. All right, so right in here, we can take this dot and decide, hey, you know what? Let's give it a yellow outline and a nice little stroke like so. Maybe just for that one, why not? Click done. There it is. There's that little dot that's being propagated across this pattern. So again, just wanted to show you guys that, right? Let's get dotty. The cool thing is we can start layering these one on top of the next. And I'm not crazy about what I made. Can we just call it what it is? It's horrible. Can we just call this horrible? Like, it's not that good. Right, so we go in, again, we're using, let's select my object. There it is. Maybe I'll pick a different one. I could layer a number of these one on top of the next. So adding a new one and then adding some other dots to it. So there we go. It's kind of hard to tell, actually. Let's put this underneath. There we go. I've just basically combined two patterns. You guys get the idea. I'm making it a little complex, but I'm also showing you guys what you guys can do, right? The cool thing is like all those little dots are in there. Like all this stuff, oh yeah, it's all in there. Let's show those large thumbnails. Gorgeous. All this stuff that I could take and start running with. And next thing you know, my stuff is hopefully looking a little bit more like, or at least inspired by what Mike is doing, which is pretty amazing, right? Boom. Let's move on. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Cool. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's good. Marie Kondo, perfect. Marie Kondo your designs, right? I think as you get more into the industry, I don't know. As you get more experience, you get better at editing. You don't get better at adding. So initially you get better at adding stuff. You will add everything to a file, right? You'll add it all, but you'll learn that, you know what, editing is kind of the way to go, right? You get better at editing when it comes down to, being a seasoned designer, if you ask me. Let's move on to the next one, Bro Show. Again, another piece that I really just liked let's appreciate it. The look of it. Sergio Lopez, Filho, and he's created this Bro Show, which is only on Neverflix, by the way. But in contrast to what we just saw, kind of like everything is in here. You know, there's photography, there's hand-drawn illustration, there's a texture over the top, right? So it's like Photoshop. Blurs in the background. It looks like there's like maybe a little bit of a blur to create some depth. So again, in contrast to the previous one, I really dig this style, right? I like it how he gave his own show 2 out of 5 stars. I don't know if this review is 100% like legit, but it does have animation with it as well. So shout out to that animation. Again, just some text in there. You guys get the idea? Cool. In this case, more is more, huh? Kind of depends. Again, there are no rules, just maybe some guidelines, right? And obviously you can see how all this is put together, right? Cool. Look at that. Are you not impressed? I'm impressed. All right. Let's move on. One more thing I want to talk about really fast as well, not related to, this is something else that I was kind of looking at. But again, just go to behance.net. You can go to the For You or the Discover section and check out pretty much anything based on pretty much any category and get inspired. But that's my goal, is just to kind of show you something like, yeah, you could make this, right? And I love it. Again, when they start adding or showing the process for making these. This is not the case here, but again, amazing work. All on Behance. Very impressive. Okay. Yeah, Neverflix is just a made-up term that Sergio made up, so it's actually just nothing. So, Warby Parker. I'm just scrolling through Behance. You guys don't need to watch me do this. But again, this is just to inspire you by all these lovely colors and designs. Nice to see you. Warby Parker, which he's not even a real person. Warby Parker is not even a real person. But what is these days, huh? All right. I know I'm a real person. I also know something that is real, but almost seems kind of unreal, and this belongs under the news category. But as we're thinking about the future, we actually have a 3D asset creation tool called Medium by Adobe. So this is if you have an Oculus. So you need the Oculus Rift S or S, Oculus Touch. But this is really cool. We have something called Medium by Adobe, which will allow you to sculpt in 3D, which is pretty amazing if you're getting into that. So again, lots of these little areas that I actually was not even aware of, right? Until recently. All right, cool. I love scrolling through Behance as well. Again, that is the goal, just to get you inspired. Let's move on. Okay, fantastic. Let's get into Community Spotlight. All right, we do like to highlight at least one person, even though everybody deserves to be highlighted in some way, right? Because I think everybody is awesome in their own way. But I also wanted to point out somebody who's been doing a lot on Discord and with the creative challenges. So he's probably, I haven't even seen his name in the live streams, but Abid Hafez has been doing a lot of work and just wanted to give him a shout out. You can see right down here, Abid's work for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Found object collage, but if you scroll through this challenge, you'll see his name pop up a lot. You can see the number of ones that he's created here. You have this one, right? Which again, you have this lovely watercolor effect, which is really cool. Here's version 2, right? More realistic. And then we have version 3 as part of his found object collage for one challenge. He did 3 different pieces, right? So I think that is pretty impressive. Here's another one as he works on a surreal landscape. I think Abid has to just be pointed out for all of his hard work that he's been doing, right? Which is pretty awesome. And this is part of the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, right? Boom, there it is. Abid. There we go. How about, hey, could you use some brighter colors? No, we used all the bright colors. We made them as bright as possible. But good job, Abid. I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Of course, this is probably on that same day, but shout out to Abid, who's probably not here, but hey, you don't need to be here to be honored. Just want to give him a shout out. Abid is pretty cool, right, Bruce? So get involved with those daily creative challenges. I'm, I guess, kind of technically hosting the Illustrator one this week, which will be cool. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. All right. Awesome. You'd collect that stamp? I sure would too. Cool. Now, like I said, the other big category that I wanted to talk about is, sure enough, free stuff, right? Fantastic. This list keeps getting longer and longer. And honestly, I thought about editing it down, but I just kind of left up past ones. And let me just like make that background a little darker so you can see everything, right? But I keep adding to this list of free stuff. Pretty much any site that where you purchase images, they also have free images. And they have a free section, to be honest with you. So let's take a look at some of those and some new ones that actually I was not aware of. But let's go to Pexels Surplus. Let me make sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's get rid of that ad by Adobe. But let's switch screens. This is Pexels. PexelsSurplus.com. You can go to freebies right here, or essentially /free goods. Same thing with Adobe's, Adobe stock, but here you have fonts, graphics, textures, templates, mockups, and all of that. I have some of these actually already installed, so we're going to take a look at those. You can grab these awesome free fonts. Some of these are easier to work with than others. Okay, but let's go ahead and take a look at a couple. In fact, right over here, we have this LL Decento. It's a free variable font that we can work with. So let's jump out here to our fun little illustration. Here we go. Bam, bam. I already have it installed. This is a variable concept. Oh yeah, you do have to remember how to spell it. That's the biggest thing with fonts. Can we all agree? It's like Detechno. There we go. That's how you're supposed to say it. Detechno. I do this all the time, by the way. I'm so glad you guys are watching. I sometimes have this turned on. If you go into classification, I actually just had serifs turned on. So clear all. Oh, there it is. Decento. Detechno. There it is. Twist and glitch, like so. Because I want to make a cool glitch design. There it is. Boom, boom. Let's make this larger. Let's have some fun with it. Right off to the side, we could see that this is a variable font because we have this little option right here. As we click right here, we can go ahead and slant it some more and glitch it, kind of determine the amount of glitch that I want in that font. And it's actually scrubbing through multiple fonts. These variable fonts are doing that. And by the way, that's one. So we can go to Techno. We can go to some of these other ones. I think, let's go to this twist. So twist is the other one. Like so. Adjust the slant and adjust the amount that it kind of twists or distorts. And it's still editable as well. And that's a free font. That's at your fingertips. Pretty cool. Good morning, Avila. Good to have you here. And everyone. Krista, you're being silly. It does kind of look like a turtle butt. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. We can make this anything we want. Maybe we will turn this upside down and basically this person has like probably really bad breath. So I went a different way with it. All right, folks, let's move on. That's twist and glitch. Moving this up here, and yeah, you guys get the idea. Twist and glitch from that site. Let's move on. Cool. All right, so that's all from Pexel Surplus because they give away free stuff, therefore they get promoted. Congratulations. Good stuff. We can go to this next one, which I found pretty darn awesome. Lost and Taken. So these are free texture stock photos, right? Oftentimes I just need a paper or just sort of grunge texture where you can jump in, grab that grunge texture. You can see all these gorgeous images like so. And again, you name your price. You can give them some money. But you could go ahead and add that to your downloads, and it's pretty awesome. It's called Lost and Taken. Free texture stock photos. What if I want Mars? Let's see what happens if I just type in Mars. Oh, look at that. Well, actually, no. Those are images that cost money. But if I was using a texture like dirt, we'll see that pop up as well. Cool. Cool. At least 4 pages of this. All right, for Clubhouse, how do you get an invitation? You have to contact somebody who's on Clubhouse and they send you an invite. So basically, you send them an invite through your phone number is how it works. Okay. Cool. Twist and glitch. Let's move on. There we are. Cool. Lost and Taken. Vector Boom. I didn't think I talked about that last week. Turbo Squid. Our Adobe stock collection of free vectors and images and videos, which is pretty cool. And the Noun Project. So that is your list. I had more that was bookmarking, but I think that's pretty good so far. Okay, because I don't have a lot of time. I want to get into questions, a little Q&A. All right, welcome back, everybody. I do have to work on my timing a little bit. So I have some questions that I was clicking through, and then also some more free things that I was actually looking at that I wanted to mention. So since I did miss those, I kind of wanted to jump over and show you. All right, let me show you this really fast, okay? Before we get into questions, again, that's just pulling questions from community.adobe.com or from our Discord channels, right? Which we should actively be working on answering those, and I'm sure we are. But also there's Discover, so you can go to Creative Cloud Discover section, and I'll go there right now because we give away things in here as well, which go beyond images and stuff like that, right? So we'll go right up here to Discover, and we typically load this up with lots of things as we scroll down. This is our live, but also what's in here. And let me just expand this out. Let's go to, say, Premiere Pro. Content, Photoshop, right? And we basically give away free things in here. I'm going to jump to this in the browser because we actually can go in the browser and go to free resources. This is what I'm looking for, by the way. creativecloud.adobe.com, discover free resources. That's where we're going, right? So in there, we can see sort of a planning document. We could get into free cinematic looks. I saw this and I was like, this is amazing, right? It's just a cool piece of artwork, but right in here, we can download the assets as well. It does say that it's for Premiere Pro, but they're LUTs, so they're lookup tables. So we could use these anywhere we want. So here it is, opening that up, right? Sample Adobe stock clips, awesome, right? Here's the looks, right? These are cube files. So you can load that into Premiere Pro. We won't wait for mine to load in. I'm just going to jump in here for this image since these things weren't working. But we can go down here in Photoshop and go to color lookup. Okay. So lookup tables are basically a bunch of adjustment layers. Hue, saturation, brightness, contrast, blah, 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 right? Color balance. All of those things combined into one to make one look that will be consistent for your movie. So you can give it to somebody who's working in Photoshop, After Effects, you get the idea. But right in here, we can load in those files. Okay, you could kind of see some of these. I've actually loaded them in already. How did I even load them in? Oh, Paul. There we go. We could load those in, right? Grab those looks, pull those in like I already did, and we can apply those looks to these. And here they are. Mako Miyamoto's Mountain Ghost, Night Rider, The Edge of the World, and Emerald Forest. Yeah, let's see what those look like for this particular look. So there's Mountain Ghost. You can see it just changes the look of this just for this one image. But I'm also just kind of showing you how you can take those and apply those to a still image in Photoshop, right? I do this all the time, by the way. Like my last step for any project, I will go through and check out these different looks that I can add just to kind of see if it makes it look better, to be honest with you. Right. This one deals a lot with greens, of course. It's called Emerald Forest, and you can see it's changed the look of this and really amped up the contrast and the greens, which I think is cool. All right. Fantastic, right? So again, super easy. By the way, you can make your own. Kind of don't have time for that, but you can make your own by adding all those adjustment layers and then exporting out your LUT, which is right over here, lookup tables. So make your own, have fun with that. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I gotta let you go. Again, we have a full day planned for you, but I'm just thankful you guys are here with me today. And, you know, let you know that you're not alone when you're dealing with any struggles, guys. Hey, we've all been there. I get it. You know what? Sometimes you just need a sandwich. For me, I just need a sandwich. half the time. Just need some food. But we have Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge up next. I'll leave you guys with that. Stick around for Giannis Davey. It's going to be awesome. And, of course, James Bonanno and Anna McNaught. So thanks so much, everybody. We will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Join me on Clubhouse later today, too. Thanks.